When it comes to building an MVP, which is also what we call a minimum viable product, you really got to focus on what the users need, right? It's not about what you want to build. It's not about maybe the new technology that's being launched today and all that, right? Those things are cool, right? AI is cool, but you got to understand the use case and the person that you're building it for. The kind of process that I like to use is speaking to customers and drilling really deep on the problem. Because if the problem that you're trying to solve doesn't exist, basically, even if you put a really solid MVP, there's no point. So try to speak to the customers and understand, number one, is there actually a problem? And number two, how big of a problem is it really? Is it a $1 problem? Is it a $100 problem? Or is it a $1,000 problem? Or is it $1 million problem? Like, obviously, bigger problems will be harder to provide solutions for, but you decide the kind of business model you want to play with, right? Do you want to make $10 from 1,000 users, or selling one fixed product, or would you rather make $1 million from one customer? I've done both, and honestly, for me, I really chose the path of building what I call a productized service today. What do you mean by that, right? If you think about it, providing a custom service like building custom software for customers is pretty straightforward, right? I've done 7-figure projects just doing software. The issue with that is you're, number one, extremely reliant on this one customer, and if anything happens to this customer, you are basically screwed because you have to pay your team, you have costs, you have expenses, you have office space, you got to pay for those things. If they leave, you're basically screwed, right? Number two, you got to customize most things for the purpose of this client, which also means that there's not a lot of repeatability, there's not a lot of scalability, right? You got to just build it once and for this person to use, right? Whereas if you're building a productized service or a product, right? And I'm going to talk about the difference between the two in a bit. But if you're building a product, you're basically just building it once for one customer, and basically your job is to go and find 1,000 more people like the first customer you just built it for, and you build them the same way. So the magical spot that I like to play in now that I'm really exploring today, right? Because I run 3 companies today, right? Let's talk about it. The first company that I built is called Sigma School, which is a coding bootcamp where we help people learn up new skills. So we're currently training people in software development, data analytics, and also AI agents. Where we train them, right, in 3 months so that they can become productive with it. When I say productive, meaning they can contribute in the real world with it and then get a job. Otherwise, we'll give them their money back. So that's the coding bootcamp that I've been building. It's our cash cow that's been moving. We've had hundreds of really happy students. We have really big hiring partners like Grab and OCBC Bank and whatnot hiring students from us, which is amazing, right? So that's something that's running. Another thing that I'm building is Jobier, which is a software product that basically helps anybody find jobs and automatically apply jobs in the world. We scrape job portals and basically help people, using AI, help people find the best jobs that matches them the most and apply for it. That's Jobier, and I'm going to go too deep into it. That's your classic SaaS play. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about productized services, which is basically understanding the very reason why people use certain services, right? So you have your different types of customers. You have your customers that really expect like a full service. I want this button to be bigger. I want this text to say exactly this. I want the website to look exactly like this. That's very customized services, which is great, right? But I believe in selling agents today, right? Instead of saying, I'm going to customize XYZ for you, I'm going to say, hey, I've built this sales agent. I've built this maybe finance AI agent that helps you do your accounts. I've built this invoice generation agent, for example. I built XYZ things, and you can now use it as an extension of your team. Now, what's the difference between an agent and just AI, right? An agent is basically AI that's able to take action for you. The key difference here is action, right? Think about ChatGPT or whatever Claude or whatever LLM that you're using today. Most of the time, you're going to end up asking it a question. It's going to give you some form of output that gives you information or insights or analysis on what you need. That's just giving information, right? But what it's really lacking is the ability to take actions, the ability to maybe in a technical term, make post requests, right? Because if you're able to take action, you're able to, take the insights that the AI gives and take action from it. Basically, the end user, the one on the receiving end of the action, the moment they can't distinguish if it's done by, maybe Jack from your office or an AI, the moment they can't distinguish that difference, then basically you're buying yourself a staff. That's it, right? Instead of paying Jack $5,000 per month, why don't you pay this AI agent $500 per month to do the exact same thing? Now, I'm not saying AI agents are able to replace Jack as a whole, because as humans, you have a lot more creative energy, you have a lot more holistic view of the entire business and how it works through the pipelines. That's amazing. That's good. But hold that thought for a moment. Instead of building a bot to replace Jack, we can build multiple bots, right, where they work concurrently and work together and get someone like a Jack to oversee all of the bots. Now, that's what I talk about. That's what I mean when I say productized services, because I'm not going to sell you a custom bot to do something that's extremely custom for your business and for your use case. I'm going to build a sales agent that works for the vast majority of businesses. And if someone or a client is interested to use my product, they basically, all they got to do is think about how they can adopt their way of doing things to my AI agent. Does that make sense? Which means it's like if you go to a massage, for example, a massage is a service, right? However, you don't really customize anything in the massage. You don't ask the masseuse to, hey, could you do some fancy weird massage? If you're going out there for, I don't know, a Ballini style massage, you're gonna need you're gonna get the standard service that's being provided by a Ballini style masseuse. If you want to go for a Thai massage, you're gonna get a standard SOP for a Thai massage, right? It's a service, but it's productized because they have a fixed process on how they provide the services. Does this make sense? So in this case, our AI agent is trained to do something specific, and we're just going to sell you this specific AI agent to do this specific use case, and you pay a fixed amount to use the AI agent. Yeah, I think that's all I really want to share today about building an MVP and understanding product versus services versus productized services. I am part of a business group where a lot of us are struggling in the services realm, because if you're doing bespoke or customized services, you're not able to scale your business, right? So right now, I used to run a software agency where we had clients paying 7 figures for projects, and even I am dropping that pile of cash, right? I'm putting it on a table, not exactly putting it on a table, but like I'm transitioning all of my clients into more of a retainer model rather than a project-based model, because I ask myself, in the future, where am I going to be, right? Do I want to be in a place where I'm always building customized services, or do I want to be in a place where I'm able to maybe scale, right? Build it once and scale. So I always chose the scaling thing. Even for Sigma School, right? It takes a very similar effort for us to serve, 5 students in a classroom versus 30 students in a classroom. Very similar. Yes, you can argue that when we get 300 students or 3,000 students, we're going to need more instructors, more infrastructure, more career coaches. Yes, however, the kind of scaling limit is going to be a lot better than maybe if you're running an F&B restaurant, right? Where you probably need a bigger space, going from 10 customers to maybe 30 customers. You're going to need bigger space, more staffs. So I hope you get where I'm coming from, but it's just my little rant on building MVP, because I get a lot of questions today about what exactly does it take to choose to build your MVP, and what kind of business model should I choose.